all the training footage for John Wick. John Wick 2, man, that Keanu Reeves, he gets into it. He was training with my friend Higa Machado.
Keanu Reeves, beloved for his roles in The Matrix and John Wick, finds himself at the center of a Hollywood storm. In recent episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience, outspoken comments by Rogan have sparked rumors of Reeves being blacklisted by major studios. From unexpected critiques of Reeves' iconic performances to revelations about his off-screen persona, the fallout is intense. Could a single podcast episode change the fate of one of Hollywood's most cherished actors? Early life. Keanu Reeves, a name that evokes images of action-packed films and timeless roles, has long been one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. But beneath the on-screen heroics lies a man whose journey to fame is as complex and layered as the characters he portrays. Known for his humility, public kindness, and numerous charitable endeavors, Reeves stands out not just for his roles, but for his spirit. Yet few know of the struggles and unique challenges that have shaped the actor who, despite Hollywood's many ups and downs, remains at the forefront of the industry. Keanu's story begins far from the glittering lights of Hollywood, in the bustling streets of Beirut, Lebanon. Born on September 2, 1964, to Patricia, an English performer and costume designer, and Samuel Nolan Reeves Jr., an American with a rich tapestry of Hawaiian, Chinese, English, and Portuguese heritage, his life was bound to be one of contrasts and cultural influences. His father's abrupt departure when Keanu was just 3 left a void. And by the time Keanu was 13, the last meeting with his father on the island of Kauai seemed more like a distant memory than a true father-son connection. After the split, Keanu's mother began a whirlwind journey with her children, first moving to Sydney, Australia, before settling in New York City, where she married Paul Aaron, a Broadway and Hollywood director. Though the marriage was short-lived, Aaron's presence had a significant impact on young Keanu. His introduction to the world of theater and acting planted seeds that would later grow into a flourishing career. Keanu's first taste of the stage came at 9 years old when he participated in a production of Damn Yankees, a moment that unknowingly set him on the path to stardom. The family's next stop was Toronto, where Keanu's youth would unfold in the Yorkville neighborhood alongside his sisters. Life was anything but ordinary, filled with frequent changes and adjustments. His mother's third marriage, this time to a rock music promoter, and the subsequent divorce left the household constantly shifting. Raised primarily by a nanny, Keanu was imbued with English manners from his mother, while his grandmother's Chinese heritage brought elements of Eastern art, cuisine, and culture into his upbringing. Despite the rich cultural environment, Keanu's youth was far from easy. Describing himself as a private kid, he struggled academically due to dyslexia, a condition that made reading challenging and school life tumultuous. Attending 4 different high schools, including the arts-focused Etobicoke School, Keanu's rambunctious nature often clashed with the rigid school systems. One too many mouth-offs led to his expulsion, but the hardships didn't deter his ambition. There was one aspect of his life where Keanu truly shone: ice hockey. A natural goalkeeper, he quickly earned a reputation on the ice, even dreaming of playing for Canada's Olympic team. His skills were so notable that he was once considered a prospect for the Ontario Hockey League. Yet, as fate would have it, an injury ended his hockey aspirations, but Keanu's drive for success didn't waver. At 15, he made a life-altering decision. Acting was his calling. Leaving De La Salle College behind, Keanu transferred to Avondale Secondary Alternative School, a place where he could balance his growing passion for acting with academic commitments. But even this was short-lived, as he soon dropped out of high school at 17 to fully pursue acting. With a green card in hand, granted through his American stepfather, he set his sights on Los Angeles, the epicenter of film and television, ready to carve out a place for himself in the industry. And with that move to Los Angeles, a door was about to open, one that would soon see Keanu Reeves take on roles that would forever change the trajectory of his life, and Hollywood itself. Early career. Keanu Reeves' early years in Hollywood were anything but smooth, but his persistence and willingness to take on any role gradually paid off. In the mid-1980s, while still building his portfolio, Reeves navigated the tricky terrain of show business, often taking advice from agents who suggested he change his name, fearing that Keanu sounded too ethnic for Hollywood. Briefly going by Casey or Casey Reeves, Keanu eventually decided that his name, much like his identity, was something he wouldn't compromise on. One of Keanu's first significant breaks came in the Canadian youth show Going Great, where he worked as a correspondent, balancing between on-screen work and hustling for new opportunities. His acting debut came shortly after in Hangin' In, marking the start of what would be a long and fruitful career in television and film. But the early days were far from glamorous. Keanu took on roles wherever he could, from stage productions like Romeo and Juliet to a quirky Coca-Cola commercial that aired in 1983. His dedication was unwavering, whether it was playing Mercutio or starring in a coming-of-age short film One Step Away. What set Reeves apart was his ability to adapt, to throw himself into every role with full commitment, no matter how small. The mid-1980s saw him cast in television films such as Babes in Toyland and Brotherhood of Justice, where his youthful energy and unique presence on screen started to gain his attention. But it wasn't until his appearance in Youngblood, where, ironically, he played a hockey goalie, a nod to his real-life passion, that audiences began to see him as a future star. Then came River's Edge, a crime drama based on a true story, and the film that arguably gave Reeves his first taste of serious critical acclaim. Playing the role of Matt, Keanu found himself part of a talented ensemble, and his performance was described as sympathetic and affecting, proving that this young actor was capable of more than just teen roles. River's Edge wasn't a box office smash, but it was the kind of gritty, emotional performance that critics appreciated, setting the stage for what would come next. As the 1980s came to a close, Keanu ventured into more teen dramas, starring in films like The Night Before and Permanent Record. While neither set the world on fire, Reeves' performance in Permanent Record stood out. The movie dealt with the emotional fallout after a student's tragic death, and Keanu's portrayal of the grief-stricken lead earned praise for the way his character unfolded throughout the story. But 1989 was a game-changer. That was the year Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was released, and Reeves' portrayal of the goofy, laid-back slacker Ted launched him into the mainstream. The movie was a hit, capturing the hearts of audiences with its time-traveling adventures and comedic charm. Keanu's chemistry with co-star Alex Winter made the film a classic, and Reeves would forever be tied to the role of Ted, a lovable, easygoing character who became an instant cultural icon. But Keanu wasn't about to be boxed into one genre. After the success of Bill and Ted, he kept pushing forward, landing a role in the ensemble film Parenthood, which allowed him to show off his comedic chops yet again. The movie wasn't a flashy blockbuster, but it was a solid hit, and it further solidified Reeves as a versatile actor who could swing from slapstick comedy to heartfelt drama with ease. Matthew Berry Feud. Keanu Reeves has always maintained a low profile when it comes to Hollywood feuds, but one that unexpectedly emerged was with Friends star Matthew Perry. The public became aware of this tension when Perry's memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, was released in November 2022. In it, Perry seemed to take jabs at Keanu in a way that left many fans bewildered and others upset. The memoir's references to Keanu, particularly in the context of the deaths of their mutual friend River Phoenix and fellow actor Chris Farley, came across as cruel and unnecessary. In one passage, Perry reflected on the tragic loss of River Phoenix, who died of a drug overdose in 1993 at the age of 23. River was a beautiful man inside and out. Too beautiful for this world, it turned out. It always seems to be the really talented guys who go down. Why is it that the original thinkers like River Phoenix and Heath Ledger die, but Keanu Reeves still walks among us? The comment felt like a random dig at Keanu, leaving readers questioning why Perry had chosen to single him out. This sentiment was repeated later in the book when Perry recounted the death of comedian Chris Farley. Once again, he expressed disbelief that figures like Farley were gone, while Reeves continued to thrive in Hollywood. These jabs at Keanu Reeves, a man widely respected for his humility and kindness, quickly caused backlash. Fans of both actors were perplexed. After all, Reeves had no apparent history with Perry, and the two had never worked together on any projects. The comments appeared to come out of nowhere. Critics, fans, and social media users alike began to question what had driven Perry to include such unprovoked remarks. It wasn't long before the firestorm of negative attention caught up with Perry. Realizing that his words had struck a nerve, Matthew Perry soon issued a public apology. "I'm actually a big fan of Keanu. I just chose a random name. My mistake. I apologize. I should have used my own name instead," he admitted. But for many, the damage had already been done. Despite the apology, Perry's comments continued to make headlines, with fans demanding more answers. Why Keanu? What was the underlying cause of such unnecessary vitriol toward a man known for his positive influence both on and off screen? Reeves, for his part, remained silent throughout the entire ordeal. True to his private nature, he didn't engage with the media frenzy that followed. While insiders close to Reeves suggested that the actor was caught off guard by the comments, he chose not to retaliate or even acknowledge the matter publicly. This in itself was classic Keanu, a man who prefers to let his actions, rather than his words, define him. The history between the two actors is relatively thin. Their only connection comes through mutual friends, most notably River Phoenix. Perry and Phoenix worked together on the 1988 film A Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon, and their on-screen chemistry translated into a close friendship off-screen as well. Phoenix's untimely death devastated both Perry and Reeves, though each actor dealt with the loss in their own way. Reeves, who had starred alongside Phoenix in My Own Private Idaho, has often been seen as a reflective and private individual, choosing not to speak at length about the loss of his friend. Perry, however, has been more open about his struggles with grief and addiction, both of which he discussed extensively in his memoir. During an appearance at the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books in April 2023, Perry revisited the controversy. "I said a stupid thing. It was a mean thing to do," he admitted. "I pulled his name because I live on the same street. I've apologized publicly to him. Any future versions of the book will not have his name in it." It seemed that, at least for Perry, this chapter was one he wished to close. Joe Rogan on Keanu Reeves. As Keanu Reeves' career evolved, he didn't just captivate audiences on screen. He also managed to mesmerize those in the entertainment industry, including one of the most influential podcasters around, Joe Rogan. In several episodes of The Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan expressed his admiration for Keanu in a way that showcased not just his respect for the actor's work, but also his genuine fascination with the man behind the roles. Rogan, known for his blunt and honest opinions, often spoke about Reeves with a level of fanboy excitement that surprised his listeners. During one episode, Rogan reflected on how Keanu handled the overwhelming fame that came with being the Matrix guy. He described the surreal nature of Reeves' life, noting how Keanu had reached the level of fame only a few actors ever achieve, comparing him to megastars like Johnny Depp and Tom Cruise. But what made Reeves stand out in Rogan's eyes wasn't just his acting chops. It was how he carried himself amidst that fame. Rogan marveled at how, despite being a global icon, Keanu managed to maintain an incredibly down-to-earth persona. "He's the kind of guy who just sits on the subway by himself," Rogan said, impressed by the fact that someone as wealthy and famous as Keanu could be so unassuming in public. According to Rogan, the way Keanu dressed, wearing regular clothes, sneakers, and a simple watch, made him blend in with the crowd, even when he was recognized. "He's normal as man," Rogan said with astonishment, highlighting how Keanu's low-key style made him seem like an everyday guy, rather than a Hollywood superstar. One of the things that struck Rogan the most was how Reeves managed to move through public spaces without drawing attention to himself. "He's figured out a way to just disappear in plain sight," Rogan noted, recounting how people would spot him on the subway and do a double take, unsure if it was really him. And even when they realized it was Keanu, his calm, chill demeanor kept people from freaking out. Rogan described him as totally legit, someone who, despite his immense fame, remained grounded and relatable. But Rogan didn't stop at just praising Keanu's personality. He also dug deep into Reeves's role as John Wick, the character that reignited Keanu's career and solidified his place as an action legend. Rogan had plenty to say about the John Wick franchise, and while he clearly enjoyed it, he wasn't afraid to offer some criticisms. In one episode, he dissected the series, pointing out how the first film's gritty realism and emotional core drew people in. "He killed everybody because of his dog, and he was ready to retire," Rogan said, summarizing the plot of the first film. It was this raw, emotional motive, avenging his dog, that made the audience root for John Wick. However, by the time the fourth installment rolled around, Rogan admitted that the series had taken on a more exaggerated, almost cartoonish quality. "By the fourth one, it's like over the top. They have bulletproof jackets, and it's just like they're running into bullets," Rogan quipped, acknowledging that while it was fun, the realism that had grounded the first movie had given way to pure spectacle. Yet, despite these critiques, Rogan remained a fan of the franchise, appreciating it for what it had become, an entertaining, larger-than-life action series that didn't take itself too seriously. One of the more intriguing revelations Rogan made about Keanu was his dedication to mastering the skills needed for his action roles. In another podcast episode, Rogan let slip that Keanu's precision with firearms in the John Wick series wasn't just Hollywood magic. Keanu had been trained by Taron Butler, a 13-time national shooting champion and renowned firearms expert. According to Rogan, Butler was the go-to guy in Hollywood for any actor needing to look like a real assassin on screen. "He taught Keanu Reeves for all the John Wick movies," Rogan explained, noting how Butler's expertise helped Reeves perform some of the most intense, realistic gun sequences in modern cinema. Rogan's admiration for Butler's teaching skills extended beyond Reeves. Butler had also worked with Halle Berry for her role in the third John Wick film, as well as other Hollywood stars like Jon Bernthal and Harrison Ford. Rogan marveled at Butler's prowess, describing him as a wizard when it came to firearms training. And it was this mastery that helped transform Keanu from an action star into a believable assassin, making the John Wick movies as authentic as they could be, even with all the over-the-top stunts. Despite his critiques of the later films, Rogan's respect for Reeves never wavered. To him, Keanu represented something rare in Hollywood, a megastar who had somehow managed to stay humble, avoid the trappings of fame, and remain true to himself. Reeves' ability to play a master assassin on screen while living a quiet, low-profile life off-screen only added to the mystique that surrounded him. Future projects. Fans of the John Wick franchise will be thrilled to know that Keanu is set to reprise his iconic role in John Wick. Presents Ballerina, a spin-off film slated for release in 2025. This will keep Reeves in the action spotlight, where audiences have come to love him. Although rumors about a fifth John Wick movie have circulated, director Chad Stahelski has hinted that the franchise might take a break for a while, allowing the Wick universe to expand in new directions. But it's not all action for Keanu. He's set to show his comedic chops alongside Seth Rogen and Aziz Ansari in Good Fortune, marking Ansari's directorial debut. The film promises to be a fresh take on modern comedy, with Keanu playing a pivotal role that'll surprise fans. Reeves will also take a darker turn in Jonah Hill's black comedy Outcome on Apple TV+, a project that has already garnered considerable buzz. Beyond film, Reeves is venturing into new territory with his Broadway debut in the fall of 2025. He will take on the challenging role in Waiting for Godot, a classic Samuel Beckett play, under the direction of Jamie Lloyd. This marks a significant shift in his career, showcasing Reeves' range as a performer and his willingness to push boundaries. For fans of his BRZRKR comic book series, there's even more to look forward to. A film adaptation produced and starring Reeves is currently in development for Netflix. This will be followed by a 2-season anime series keeping the BRZRKR universe alive across multiple formats. The possibility of Reeves directing the film has also been floated. In addition to all these roles, Reeves will co-produce a documentary about the life of Benny Urquidez, a legendary martial artist and one of Reeves' own inspirations. Set for release in 2025, this project will give fans a glimpse into the mind of a man who has helped shape Reeves' approach to action and film. On top of everything, Keanu is set to star in Ruben Östlund's satirical film, The Entertainment System is Down, further diversifying his portfolio and proving that he is far from being pigeonholed into one genre. This move into satire is yet another testament to Reeves' ability to continuously evolve as an actor. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below with your favorite Keanu role, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update.